This series is about everyday people and the people they admire, whether that's friends, family, or neighbours. We found regular folks from the Northside of Dublin who were brave enough to go in front of the camera to interview a person they wanted to celebrate. We equipped them with the necessary tools, but the rest is up to them. In the next half an hour, we'll meet 3 of these people as they delve into the lives of the people they look up to. For this week's episode, we start at Kilmore West, where Ava, who was interviewed last week by her mum Amy, is speaking to her coach Dean, whom she has admired for a long time.
My name is Ava Henry. I'm from Kilmore West, and a couple of months ago I got interviewed by my ma talking about my boxing and who influences me and who do I look up to. And today I'd like to interview Dean Russell because he is a great influencer to everybody in Kilmore. It's a person that I look up to, and this is why I'd like to interview him. He always has a smile on his face no matter what, whether it's a good day, a bad day, he just always has a smile on his face, and he just helps everybody, and that's something in my life that I'd like to do to help others.
Yep, good to go.
Right, so I wanted to interview you because I think you're just an inspiration to everyone, like in Kilmore, and like not even in Kilmore, from everywhere. Like you just push everyone, and you've always something great to say about someone. Like it's never anything bad, and you always want to push the community to be better, and the clubs, Kilmore, especially Kilmore, to be a much better football club, and the playgrounds and everything else. You just want to push like everyone in the community really, and to be better. Like,
well, I get a great sense of joy out of looking at the kids playing and winning, because I was a born winner myself. I didn't like losing. So, and when you go up to the academy and they're 4 years of age to 8, and you look at them all there 10 minutes before training and want to stay after training, that means you're doing something right. That's an achievement.
Yeah.
That I look at. And same with the 12s, the 13s, the girls, the ladies, the boys, the seniors. They all want to win. I mean, you go look at the amount of trophies that we've won and what we've achieved for such a small area. It means a lot, so that pushes you on.
Yeah. And how long have you played with Kilmore yourself from the year?
Well, since 1990 up till a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, when it was founded.
And how long have you been chairman for Kilmore?
It's not really chairman. We all do the same thing. We all help out. But I just try to push it that little bit further.
To make it better, yeah. And what inspires you to do all this? Like, what inspires you to push everyone else on?
Well, the other day I asked my grandson, did he want to go to Smith's or buy him something nice? I said, what would you like? And I said, I'll bring you to Smith's.
Yeah.
And he says he didn't want to go to Smith's. He said he wanted the football to be back on. That inspires me.
Yeah. So, who's your biggest influence in life?
My dad.
And why is he your biggest influence?
Because he never gave in.
And how did your dad teach you not to give in and be the way that you are?
Well, he always taught me right from wrong, which I always didn't do. He always taught me not to lie, because you can't deal with a liar. But if you tell the truth, you can deal with the truth.
Yeah.
Took me a while to learn that, but it does work. And he inspired me for everything I do, because he was a hard worker, which I am.
Yeah.
He was very generous, which I'd like to think I am. And he'd never pass anybody by, and that's a big thing that I do. A lot of people, like if I see somebody on the side of the road stuck, I'd pull up and help.
Go over and help. And was he ever involved in Kilmore years ago around? Or?
No, he played for the Black Sheep.
Oh really?
They were meant to have a good team years ago. I think it was called the Barbars.
Oh really? Remember I had it years ago that you were having my joke. What has changed? What made you change now?
Well, that's only a rumour. It's a true saying that when you get older, you get wiser.
Yeah.
And hopefully some people listen to that.
And how long are you, like, before you were even helping Kilmore now, like, how long are you actually, like, living in Kilmore?
I think we moved out here when I was 4. We lived in town, I think. So, I'm 51 now. So, That's 47 years, is that right?
And how old are you when you start playing with Kilmore? Like, did you play with a team before you even start playing with Kilmore?
No.
So
I never played.
So Kilmore was your first team that you kind of...
Yeah. And I wasn't that good now.
What, you know?
But I was very committed.
So what type of characteristics do you think is important for someone to succeed in football or just sport in general?
The biggest thing is dedication.
That's true.
You must be dedicated. You must be committed. You must be willing to work hard. You must be loyal. And try avoid all distractions.
Yeah.
And focus.
And has that helped you during your time?
Yeah, don't know.
Just
try, don't take no for an answer. If you think that at the end of the tunnel that you're right, don't let anybody tell you any different. If you think that, well look, I think that this is what should be done, you're entitled to your opinion, it's a democratic society, go for it. At the end of the day you can only be wrong, but at least you tried.
So, not in sport but in life, do you think like the characteristics would be the same thing in life than in sport?
Yeah, you have to surround yourself with positive people.
Yeah.
And you have to be positive yourself. So, sitting with somebody being negative is going to be a knock-on effect. You have to think positive and be positive. And then you'll achieve positive.
Yeah. And how do you go around, like you go around doing things for everyone and you help everyone, like how do you like get the motivation to kind of go up and do that for everyone?
Well, if somebody's willing to pick the phone up and give you a call and order a bed or order for a furniture removal or something, and they're willing to trust you,
yeah,
and you go to help them, and if the bed is €300 and they only have 150 and they give you 150 the following week, well, you have to help them.
Yeah.
Money isn't everything. Being loyal and a good friend, and I'm privileged to be surrounded by amazing people,
yeah,
friends and family.
And I'm sure that's how you know so many people is from everything, like.
So it's not only me, it's family and friends have stuck by me through thick and thin.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing in life.
Yeah, right then. That's it. Thanks anyway for letting me interview you.
Thank you, Ava. And I remember you since you were that size, and now you're that size. And you've always been a winner, and you've always been very good, extremely good at what you do. And you've won a silver medal in the European Championships. What more can I say? And I know you're destined for glory. There's nothing shorter. And I wish you all the best.
Yeah, well, same to you. So,
and I'm going to start crying again, so cool.
Is that it then, yeah?
Right. I have to go to Tala. Quick.
Not far away at Stardust Park in Coolock, Susan, who we met last week walking and talking with Paddy, has decided to interview her old friend Brendan.
My name's Susan Malone. I am here in the Stardust Park this morning, and I'm going to interview my dear friend Brendan Ahern. So Brendan Ahern has been my friend there's a number of years, and we used to go set dancing together, my husband and I and him and his wife. Brendan, no matter what you'd ask him to do or where to go, Brendan always is eager to get going. And he's a great person, great personality and great charisma about Brendan. And he loves friendship. He's a lovely person, loves life and loves people. So, good morning, Brendan. How are you this morning?
I'm very good.
If you'd like to tell me just a little brief of your background and when you come to Dublin.
When I was young and down the country, there wasn't a lot of employment.
Yes.
And I moved from a few different jobs.
Yes, very good.
And I had a friend that he used to go over to England for work and he'd come back again. And one of the times he came back from England, I was working in a sawmill.
Yes.
In Mullingar town.
Yeah.
And he asked me, could I not get a better job than working in a sawmill? My friend told me to go up and see his father and that he might look after me and get me a job on the railway.
Oh, very good, yes.
So that's how I came about, that I got some work for about 2 years in Mullingar, and we're actually scrapping steam engines and carriages and wagons. And he came up one morning where we were working, and he asked me, would I like to be a driver? And I said that I would, and that I'd appreciate it very much. So he told me, he said, you'll get an interview, and he said, you'll be asked in the interview, are you prepared to work in Dublin? And he said, you better say that you are, or you won't get the job. Yes. So that's how I came to be in Dublin.
Where would you think you got the trait or the character from? You know, from yourself to being such a person you are now?
Well, really, it wasn't too difficult because I came from a very big family.
Yes.
I had 10 brothers.
Yeah.
And 5 sisters.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And myself is 16 in family.
Wow, that's a wonderful family. Blessing, yes.
And my mother was a wonderful person.
Yeah, like, I mean, she was such a great mother, and the guidance that she would have given you through all them times, guided you through life. What would you say would stand out for you from your parents that made you the man you are?
Well, she was a fantastic person, and to look after so many in family, and she never, if you were going out and getting ready to go dancing, if you needed your shirt to be ironed at the last minute, she wouldn't let you down.
No, yes. Brendan, what would you say the most important traits, or what makes a person, or the way you are, you know, such a special person, and the qualities of life that you have?
Well, I could name one and it would cover everything. I think honesty
yeah.
is the most
yes.
important thing.
Yes. And love.
And love, of course, yeah. But I think it's very important to show respect to everybody.
Yes.
And try and make friends with as many people as you can.
Brendan, what way would you like to see the world going in the future? Can you kind of think of a direction? You know, what would you like to see happening?
Well, with the times we're living in now at the moment, I think everybody would like to see a cure for the virus. And
yes, indeed, most important.
Yeah, we've never experienced anything like this before, and we don't know where it's going to end.
You know, what you really would want now for us people is just to inspire nature.
Yeah.
And take care of each other and not be thinking of money, money, money. Brendan, I really enjoyed chatting to you this morning in this interview, and I could talk forever to you because you're such a powerful man and well educated and well heeled. Thank you very much for this interview, and we'll enjoy many's a walk now in the park together in the Stardust Park.
Well, thanks very much, Susan. Thanks for the nice words.
As the episode draws to a close, we move to Parnell Square in central Dublin, where Therese has chosen to interview her mentor and friend, Mary Humphreys.
Hi, my name is Therese Fagan, and I'm here in the Teachers Club in Parnell Square, and I've asked a friend of mine, Mary Humphreys, to come along today. I'm going to interview her because she's been a great inspiration to me down through the years. I opened a college in 2007, and Mary was a great support to me at that time. Mary is a go-getter, and if she sets her mind to something, she will see it through to the end. She's very generous of spirit, and she really has empathy for people who are struggling. We met 17 years ago on a Master's in Equality Studies in UCD, and we became firm friends, and she's helped me both in my career and also as a friend, and I'd like to interview her today as she inspires me greatly. Here we go. Well, Mary, I invited you here today because first of all you've inspired me with all you've done throughout your life, and I was just thinking that we're friends about 17 years now.
Wow.
So thank you for coming along to the Teachers Club, and this building would have a lot of links with your life.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in here. Yeah.
So you were
On
a
and off
teacher
over the years.
for all of your career, so and you were involved in the union, the teachers union, and
Yeah.
you got a lot of major achievements under your belt there. So what inspired you to become a teacher, Mary?
Well, the first thing was I never wanted to be a teacher at all. I just decided I wasn't going to be a teacher. So when I left school, there weren't that many options for girls, I suppose, you know, nursing, teaching, this, that and the other. So I did commerce because I thought that was well away from teaching.
Right.
And what got me into teaching really was when I had, I worked in accounting for a couple of years, and when I had my first kid, I was looking for a job that paid, that I could work part-time, and teaching was the best job for part-time hours. So I got into teaching then, and I really liked it. I was teaching adults,
Right.
and I've always taught adults, and adults are a completely different kettle of fish to other teaching roles, so I enjoyed that then, even though I hadn't thought I would. So
Great.
that's how I got started anyway.
And how did you juggle your married life and bringing up kids with your teaching career?
I think it's always difficult. It's not as difficult as it is now, because at that stage you were able to maybe manage on part-time, but now everybody's working full-time, so it's a different kettle of fish now. Hard work.
Absolutely.
Really
And then
hard.
you became involved in the union then.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, when I started, I was on part-time hours, and a lot of teachers were on part-time hours. So after 2 or 3 years, then an agreement came in with the union, and I got a full-time job, which was just amazing. And at that stage, I was too busy; I hadn't time to do anything. But I just thought, look, the union did that for me. It made a huge difference. And there's a whole lot of people who don't have those jobs, and one of the groups were the people I was working with, which were secretarial teachers, and a lot of them have been teaching for 30 years on a part-time rate. So I started a campaign through the union to try and sort that out, and eventually after, well, it must have taken a long time, 5 or 6 years, we eventually got some agreement to get the secretarial teachers made permanent, to get their service recognised, and about 50 people got full-time jobs as a result of that, which was a huge achievement.
That was a very big achievement. And then we met obviously doing the Masters in Equality Studies in UCD, and you really inspired me back then, and we've been friends ever since. So much so that when we go out, we discuss all the problems with the world, and we try to find solutions. That's what I find about you, Mary, that you have a great empathy with people who are struggling, and people who need to have somebody to fight for them. And just wondering, where did that come from in your life?
Not really sure where it came from, but the equality studies was great, because being involved in the union kind of gave you fighting for people kind of gave you an idea of, the problems and analysing the problems. And when I went into equality studies, I couldn't get over that it isn't just what you see on the surface, that a lot of the unfairnesses are really, embedded and take an awful lot of unravelling. So I suppose, I enjoyed the course from that point of view. And then you were saying what inspired me. I don't know, it just seems to be nice to do something for people.
You have a very generous spirit, I must say. And
no, I think I enjoy fighting. I enjoy fighting, arguing. Now, in my husband's family, when I went up, they were all mad into politics. They were into Fine Gael, and every time you went up there, they'd be arguing about this and that and the other. So I kind of think I enjoyed that, and enjoyed just the enjoyed. I mean, it seems ridiculous to enjoy fighting for something, but there is enjoyment in it.
Keeps you going, keeps the
you
spirit going.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and especially to do something that people say, "No, that can't be done. That's impossible." You get a great kick out of that.
That adventurous spirit as well. I've seen with your ownership of a barge on the River Shannon, and just all of the great times we've had on the barge. And really, the barge is an open house every summer for your former colleagues and friends you've met on the Union and friends you've met through life. And I've been on the barge a few times, and we've had great chats, great fun, great sing-songs. And I was really amazed that a woman can skipper a barge, because I couldn't do it. So I'm just wondering, that adventurous spirit, where did that come from in life?
One thing I can think of is that my mother was from a family of about 10 brothers and sisters, and we knew them all quite well. So I suppose just because they were all doing different things, you were kind of exposed to lots of people in different lifestyles. So maybe it just made you think that, you know, you can do anything you want, or, you know, there's plenty of opportunities there to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And one thing my father said to me one stage was that in his house, again, it was a big family, and they were all pushed through exams and kind of narrow upbringing. Do your study, that's the only thing that'll get you a job. And and he kind of had a sickener of it and kind of thought, that's not really the way to live. So by the time we came along, they just kind of said, well, you know, they were a little bit more relaxed. So I think those two things maybe had an effect.
Yeah, very good.
But the story about the barge is hilarious, because we were, friends of mine decided to do something big for the 50th birthdays, and my 50th birthday was the last in the line. And I don't know where I got the idea of and I said, I want to go on a barge. I'd never been in a barge before.
Right.
Now I live near the canal, so maybe it's something to do with seeing boats going up and down the canal. Anyway, we hired a boat from somewhere down the Midlands there, and went down. Never been on a boat before, so we got up and started skippering it. And the first thing we did was jam the boat from one end of the canal to the other, and we were we were hardly through it. I can't remember where, Tullamore or somewhere. And there was a bridge across the canal, and everybody was just, all the people locally were just looking over and shouting instructions, and we couldn't go forward or backward. So eventually somebody came down around the side and kind of pulled us into the side and said, can you stay there? You can stay there overnight. The thing about the barge, you can't do it by yourself. You have to have somebody to help you, 2 minimum or more.
Yes.
So I just asked nearly anybody I knew, were they free? Would they come down? So various people came. I think about 13 or 14 people came over the week and stayed a day and went away and came back and whatever. So we managed anyway.
Yes.
We got down as far as Clonmacnoise, and we got all the way back. Amazing. And I was completely hooked after that. And one thing about barging in Ireland, really, I can't understand that more people, not so much barging, but the inland rivers we have are just amazing. And everybody in Ireland, you tend to think of going to the seaside, going to the coast, but we have inland waterways just as good as anywhere in Europe, and it's mostly Germans you'd see, and different people who would be using them, and we don't use them half enough ourselves. So I'd love to be I'd love to be, you know, kind of ambassador for that, or just trying to kind of push people to use them more often. I mean, one of the things is it's expensive, but lots of things are expensive. I mean, skiing is expensive. It doesn't seem to stop people. Yeah.
But that's what motivates you. Maybe that could be your next big role.
Maybe.
Ambassador for Waterways Ireland.
Maybe.
I hope they're listening.
I'll ring them up.
But we've had legendary times on your barge.
We have, great fun.
I've met great people through you, obviously, and through going on the barge. And then you picked up the ukulele, and
I picked up the
this
ukulele.
is your latest hobby.
That's my latest hobby. So, I hadn't really ever played a musical instrument, and I saw ukulele players out in the airport one Christmas Eve, and they were amazing, and they're so cheerful and everything. So I went for a couple of lessons and met again another great group of friends through that, and play every week in Clontarf Yacht Club. There's about 30 people go in there and all play and sing together. So it doesn't matter if you're any good or not, or make mistakes. It doesn't make any difference. So it's great fun.
It's great social interaction for you.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful to know you all these years, and as I say, you've been a big inspiration to me, as well as a big help to me, because I set up a college in the year 2007, and only for you. I wouldn't have had staff at the beginning. I wouldn't have had contacts with inspectors and all the know-how, how to, you know, get in with the Department of Education and QQI. So I'm very grateful to you for that. And you've been a great friend and a great source of knowledge. And so I really think that, you know, this interview has to be a really for me to pay tribute to our friendship and to all that you've done for me personally, and I'm sure for many other people. And so what's next for Mary Humphreys?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I suppose this is doing a television interview is an interesting one for a start. And then I'm interested in radio. My friend Myra was involved in Near FM, so I was interested in that. So doing a course. I don't know. Just keep trying things and see what pops out.
So Mary, if there was somebody you could interview, who would it be?
I'm just trying to think now. Different people. I could interview you, or I could interview Myra Gleeson is a great friend of mine, and she has done an awful lot. I suppose what's interesting is she's done a lot of different things. She's been involved in airplanes and involved in lots of things that I'd never have thought of. So again, she's somebody who has lots of different kind of, and she's involved in the radio and just lots of different things, and you wouldn't put them together or anything like that. So I'd like to find out what made her go in that direction, or. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So Myra Gleeson, look out.
Yeah.
Mary is coming.
Coming together. Yeah, pay her back.
In the bag?
Is that enough? Is that enough?
Join us again next week for 3 more interviews that reveal how extraordinary the ordinary people in our lives really are.